Okay, so this is basically, a variation of the entity strategy. Like I say, most techniques and strategies, setups, patterns, have a variation. You have the head and shoulder, it has a variation, which means, it won't be the complete a textbook um, specification of what you see there. It won't be the complete criteria for entry and exit, or as you will have on a textbook if there was one to be written about that technical strategy, but it will be something similar. You need to know the variations and know how to work with them. What I'm sure going to be sharing with you today is a variation of the entity strategy, which I call HR, not human resources. No, it's halt and reverse, halt and reverse. So you have this one, a good example here, a good example here. Again, you can trade it. It's best traded along with, going with the trend. It can be a complete reversal or just a pullback. On this occasion, because we have an uptrend, it's a pullback. So we see price going up, pullback here, and the price continued up. So how do we spot that? You see price is going down, price is going down. This is the last red candle. Boom, it halts, stop, HALT. It halts and reverses, goes up. We're going to look at a couple of examples so that we are able to get the best picture of what it should look like. So this basically going down, looking at this last candle, it came all the way down here, came up there. It's as though the sellers ran out of steam and the bulls took over immediately. The price of this candle did not even drop further. It just basically continued. There are going to be times when you have some small wick, but on this occasion, this is for me the perfect halt and reverse. Well, if we see more perfect ones, I'll tell you. But the perfect one is when we don't even see a wick on the candle that continued its journey. Halt and reverse. Let's see if we can find another one. We're going to focus on halt and reverse. Maybe we'll focus on the bullish halt and reverse first. And what, the characteristics obviously is that candle that halted, it was going in one direction and it basically halted, it stopped. It's almost as though something stopped it. That would be the lower candle. Quite unlike this one, this is not a halt and reverse, this is entity. With the entity, the candle on the right would be the one that is the lowest, whether it's a bullish entity or bearish. In this case, it was a bullish entity. The candle on the right is the one that is the lowest. How about, this is a bullish entity. How about a bearish entity? Let's look for a bearish entity, let's look for a bearish entity, and then we'll come back with this. Ooh, massive, massive, massive. I don't want to lose that one we are looking at, but let's look for okay, this is a bearish entity. This candle being the high, well, I know we are looking at all these ones there, but we're not so much. This is an entity. The one on the right is always the highest, including the wick. So if it's an entity setup, whether it's bullish or the one on the right is the highest, whereas the halt and reverse is the opposite. Where is the one we're looking at now? I knew it. Where is it, guys? Can you find it? Let me pause it and we'll find it. Okay, so this is basically, the one we're looking at. This is a halt. Maybe it wasn't, but this is fine. In fact, this is a better one. Well, I won't say a better one. This is a different example, because I know the one we're looking at, even though I can't quite find it. I don't know if it was this one, but the one we're looking at initially was not at the bottom, was not at, an extreme, was not at an extreme low or relative low. But you can see this one, it's a super example. So guys, these are nuggets, some serious nuggets that would help you. You see people talking of catching the bottom and catching the top. This is going to put you way above a whole lot of traders. Seriously, because it helps you identify the bottom. Halt and reverse is one thing that helps you identify the bottom. Think of it this way. Think of it this way. The price was coming. I mean, it went up there. This was the halt and reverse in the opposite direction. Like I said, on this occasion, they both have wicks, but fine, the wick on the left is the bigger one. It's not entity, it's halt and reverse, HR. It has a wick, but so what? We know the pressure, the buying pressure was gone. That's why. I see how it dropped massively. So it does help you identify the top. If you want to be catching the tops and bottoms, don't always want to catch the top and bottom though. I mean, you can catch this. If you miss this one, you could have continued from here somewhere. So if you know how to catch the top and bottom, or if you've come to master it, fine. But if you're waiting to catch just the top and bottom in trades, you could be waiting too long. You should be able to pick up, pick up the journey, from somewhere else. But anyway, that's, if you cut this one, you cut the top big time. If you entered here, good. If you waited for a 50% pullback, good. You just cut it going down. But here, this was also catching the bottom, as it were. I believe you guys know what catching the top and bottom is. The highs and the lows. You say, boom, halted, and it just continued. This also has a small wick, very small wick, but then it continued. We don't have the time to do that today, but I'll share some more insight as to, the characteristics of halt and reverse as well. Because there are times when it does not play out too well. There are times when it plays out beautifully. Here, for instance, it played out beautifully, just continued a long way. Here, it continued, it played out beautifully, it continued a long way. There are times when it would not move all the way. It would just move a bit and then continue down. Like I say, even with entity, it doesn't always play out perfectly the way we want, but we can still collect some pips. This one could have collected, like, I don't know what this is. Perhaps, if we were to consider all the way, it is, let's just do it long. Let's just say you entered at the close of that. You had your stop loss here. Don't move. I don't want you to move. You had your stop loss here. And here to line up with that, that's almost a 3. That's almost a, 1 to 3 trade. Why? Guys, this is gold mine, gold mine, gold mine. We want to create some millionaires. I want you to be able to travel and just not care. Just travel and just not care unless you have an important reason to go back home or whatever, or you could go with your family. That's what I want for every member of the VIP. Now, halt and reverse. With halt and reverse, if it plays out well, because you've caught the top and the bottom, come on, what can be lower than the bottom? Unless the bottom is created, a lower low is created in the future. But at least for that moment, that is a low. Nothing is going lower. You can target 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5. You know, when we finish, just begin to use trading views as well, guys. You know, I mean, good to know that Julius, you know, is using it. Begin to use trading views as well. You know, begin to use trading views as well. So that's it. Like I say, subsequently, we will look at some more, you know, characteristics of halt and reverse. So we found two. We found both bullish and bearish here. You know, I'm going to pause it for just 1 or 2 questions, you know, and we'll take it from there. Just 1 minute, guys. Okay, so you know, one of us has just asked a question, which is a valid question. I mean, I was going to leave it for later, but it's, you know, since he's asked, I would answer it here. So halt and reverse, like I said, you know, it would not always play out. I mean, obviously good, I said that before. It would not always give you all the massive pips, as it were. You know, there are times when, even like the entity strategy, you can just quickly catch maybe 1-to-1 or catch just the one candle. So with the halt and reverse, again, do your back testing. You will see, as a matter of fact, you know, before, you know, some of you came on this live stream, I did say something, you know, to those of us here, when we're looking at one pair, I can't remember what pair it was, you know, I did say that, you know, there's a candle developing, it's going to complete as a bullish candle. You know, maybe we'll try and find it. It was the halt and reverse I saw forming on there that gave me the confidence to know that that candle which was developing is going to close as a bullish candle. So with the halt and reverse, so going down, it halted here. It came all the way down and went back, pulled back a bit, halted here, and this continued. With the halt and reverse, the next candle, so this is the candle where the price halted going down. This is the bullish candle, you know, that, you know, showed the reversal. The next candle would most likely, almost like 80%, over 80% of the time, end up as a bullish candle. So when you see a halt and reverse candle, for those who like to scalp, quickly get in and, you know, wait for that candle to close. If that candle closes, depending on the location of the whole candlesticks, you could decide I'm going for just the one candle. Because you know 80% of the time that one candle is going to close as in this case, a green candle, you just enter. But obviously, you know, like I say, you know, you need to decide when to do that, you know, because you know, after having seen this halt and reverse, this bearish halt and reverse, the price is most likely going to continue down for some time because it's been going up quite a while. So you need to know when to apply a technique, when to apply the exception to the rule, when to go with the trend or counter trend. You know, in this case, it was just a pullback for it to continue. It's only when it got here that it reversed. This was just a pullback. But what you should know for sure is that 80% of the time, you know, because I have seen times, you know, when it halted and reversed, it gave you just the one candle in the opposite direction and dropped, you know. But then, you know, 80% of the time you will get that next candle would close as green as well. So this is the 2-hour time frame. If you saw it developing, you saw this one close, at least you were able to get, oh, okay, that's decent. No, well, that's not decent. That's little. You know, I mean, obviously, you want to be able to get. This is USD JPY. Yes, you might not get a lot of pips out of it. You know, you might not get a lot of pips out of it. You know, but there are going to be times when, you know, you definitely can get enough. If it's gold, for instance, that's a good example. You know, with gold, you know, just one bar. I mean, this is a 2-hour time frame. Come on, you know, one bar on just, I call it bar now. You know, obviously, you know, It's also known as candlestick. If it's just one candlestick that closes, whether green or red, that's some good pips. So if you catch a halt and reverse on gold, you can use it for scalping. If you catch a halt and reverse, the next one is going to close green. Boom. Let's quickly look at the bearish one. Look at this one for instance, halt and reverse. Or put it this way, so that you don't then ask the next question. It's either going to close green or it will not close below this. It will not close below that reverse. Let's do this. So that's why I said I was going to continue the next time, because obviously we don't want to go too deeply. Let's check our gold. We don't want to go make this a complete teaching session, but I'll show you this example. On this occasion, the next one closed green. How about this one? Halt, reverse. The next one didn't close green, red like you would have expected, but the price did not close above that, with subsequent candles. So in a sense, you still were able to capture the pips. So that's what matters. You're still able to capture, pips on those on the trade. So halt, the green candle halt, reverse. This one stopped here. You expected it to go down, but instead it went up first. Fine, no problem, as long as that candle high is not broken. Guess what? You still were able to, this one closed here, but then the third candle dropped and gave you the equivalent of what you would have got. How many pips would you kind of like go for? How do you know how many pips to target? Consider this one, for instance. Target as much as, try and target getting the range of this candle, of the reversal candle. So here, when it stopped, you entered, it stopped, it's closed there, went up as well. So you count all this, you can see the range of these two candles is more or less like equal to this. Whereas this one, halt, reversed, reversed, you entered here. Yes, it pulled back against you, but hey, it then dropped. You were not going to necessarily capture the range of this huge candle, but it gives you a guide. You're going to be going for at least half of it. So either go for 1-to-1 range of that reversal or half of it. On this occasion, you entered here, it went up, but then came all this way. It sprung back up. So it's for you to be disciplined to know you are going to target so much. It's going to be good. I mean, a 2-hour time frame, you have 2 hours within which to get your pips, which is, there's no rush. But if you were doing this on the 5-minute, then you have to stay there and wait to capture just, the range of this whole red candle or half of it. In this case, you were able to capture half of it, boom, and come out. Don't be greedy. Just capture half or the full range and come out. If you are going with the trend, then you're going to capture at least 1-to-1 or more. If you're going with the trend, if you're going against the trend, then look to capture just half, maximum 1-to-1, and come out. Okay, so that's how much we can actually cover for that today. This is something you can definitely go away with and begin to trade it. You can go away and begin to trade it immediately because it's a variation of what you've done before. So you're not learning something major, something new, something major, some new major thing, as it were. Okay, guys, we will pick up, when next we meet, you can come up with questions of your observations good enough, Jacob just, pointed something out and asked a question, and we've been able to answer that. Okay, I mean, we'll continue with that next time.